everybody, Josh here for Drink Local Edition for Argonaut Wine and Liquor. We have an awesome, super special guest and actually special host today, Al Laws of Laws Whiskey House. And we have a 3-barrel release that we're doing today. We've got some really cool stuff coming up and some really unique whiskeys that we're super excited to be able to bring to you guys. First, what we've got is one of yours. This is an 11-year single barrel. We're proofed out at 122.4, so definitely up there. And I think we were talking before we got on, this is the oldest single barrel you guys have put out into distribution?
Yes, it is. It's a very special barrel. We held back and you guys picked it. I was pretty impressed that you'll like this one. It's pretty special to me because this is in the range where I made the whiskey. So it's extra special for me.
That's great. Yeah, and I mean, I love the nose. It's bright, but it's also got a little bit of that like maple syrup thing, which you don't usually see those two go together. I mean, you can just tell there's something different about this one. Wow. That is, I mean, butter smooth, doesn't drink 120 at all.
No.
And I mean, the flavors, it's just an explosion right up front with that, almost a little bit of brown sugar sweetness. Very different than the, Peerless we did last week, a couple weeks ago. But yeah, tell me what you think.
I think it's got a lot of cool orange and tea notes. Like our bourbon typically has a lot of that, black tea kind of feel to it in the back of the palate. And then it picks up this orange, which I think is like orange peel, which I really like.
Definitely. That's a great way of putting it. I would not have thought of orange peel, but the way when you said it, I mean, totally, that's what it is.
It has like an old-fashioned like feel to it already.
Absolutely.
It's a deep flavors, and you can tell she's old.
Oh, yeah.
So it's quite different than our normal flagship, which we look for very, very bright, grainy, fruitiness. This one definitely has some barrel influence.
Oh, yeah. Well, and, we've talked before, you kind of built your whiskeys to age longer, right?
Yeah.
And if this is kind of the direction we're headed for Laws in the future, I mean, that's really exciting.
We think it gets even better because we have made changes along the way, tweaking recipes to a slight degree, making different type of cuts to allow for, again, we don't want to lose our kind of fruity and grainy stuff, but at the same time, we think it's going to age even more, and that's probably a couple of years out right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, ears, taste, something like that.
Definitely. I mean, I remember, when we bought a single barrel from you guys right when you opened and said,
"You're the first."
Yeah, hang on to it for us until it was ready. And we ended up releasing that one at about 8.5.
Yes.
And I remember even then it was like, wow, if this is the direction this is heading, this is awesome. Because I tried it, at 6, at 7, at 8, and then I was like, you could see the progression over time. It was so impressive. That was a really fun experience. Thank you for letting us do that.
Hey, our pleasure. Great partner, man.
Of course. And then, since it is Drink Local, we like to feature a couple different things. Our next single barrel is actually from a friend of ours, a little bit farther north in Denver, from Leopold Bros. So this is their Maryland-style rye. It's a single barrel that we selected, a 5-year-old. And I actually remember being there, probably, this was pre-pandemic, so probably 4 years ago, and Todd Leopold was showing us some of the Maryland rye, and he pulled a sample of a 5-year out of the barrel, and 4 years ago, I was like, whoa, when you guys have that 5-year Maryland rye ready for distribution, tell me, I want some. So to my knowledge, this is the first one to go out into distribution. I think there may be one other in the state floating around somewhere at some point, but for right now, this is the first one, so I'm excited to try this.
I am too. Big fans.
Oh, yeah. And what's interesting about their Maryland rye to me is it's always got this like kind of malty nose to it that I don't know if you know where that comes from or what that is, but there's this one signature kind of note on the nose that I always get from those.
I wonder, is this from the chamber still?
No, I think this is the normal still, not the 3-chamber, but it's not as like oily as the stuff out of the 3-chamber.
Yeah, for sure. This one's really fruity, like tropical fruits, mango and that kind of thing. It's really nice. It's always what Todd does there is fantastic, and you get all these cool notes from the process of the distillation. Also get it from how they ferment it.
Yep. Yeah.
And what they invite in, and it's always, particularly from our point of view, really a very distinctive whiskey.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they do open air fermentation, and they have, kind of gardens right out front of the distillery, and they, open the windows up so you can get those natural yeasts from, Colorado wildflowers, different fruits and things that they make there. So it's a really unique fermentation process, which generally those lead to more fruity flavors, natural yeasts. Yeah. Do that. And
it's delicious.
Yeah, on the palate, I mean, it's an easy drinking whiskey. It's not that like big in your face rye. I mean, it's very soft and delicate, but you could really play around with this, especially at 100 proof. I mean, it'd stand up great in a cocktail. I mean, this is certainly something I would sip neat.
Drink it neat.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let a cocktail ruin this.
Fair enough. But I love that. It's super easy drinking. I mean, that's one we call on here a porch pounder, something you could sit, go through half, 3/4 of a bottle, not even notice it.
Yeah, it wouldn't take much.
Yeah.
Especially with a heavy pour.
Absolutely. Well, and that actually is a little bit of contrast to what we have coming up next.
Oh, yeah.
Which this barrel is something really special for us and for you guys.
Yeah.
This also one of the oldest rye barrels you've ever put in,
This
correct?
might be the oldest rye barrel, yeah. This is something we found in a process where we have a new vertical marriage rye this year called Cornerstone.
Okay.
It releases in a few weeks. But while we were looking for the barrels for Cornerstone, we came upon this one. And it was like, oh, we're going to put this one in. And then talking with James, he looked at me, I looked at him like, we can't put this into like a married batch. This is way, way, way too interesting.
Yeah.
And we didn't know the proof when we were first sipping it. So we're like, this is so great. And then we took the proof, and she's a hazmat.
Yeah, so
hazmat. Gotta get the gear on, get some fire retardant, just in case you breathe out and singe your hair on your. It's big.
I remember, when you guys had us over to try it, we you were like, guess the proof on that one, and we're all we're guessing 115, 120. No, this is 147.6. So just under 150 proof. I mean, I've never even seen that on a single barrel before.
Yeah. I've never drank something that high in proof before, except for this.
Yeah.
But the flavors are so rich. You don't want to put a lot of water in this, even though it's really high.
Definitely. I mean,
We'll like do a little of that first.
With a proof like that, you'd expect like a big like nail polishy nose and to feel some of that heat come off it. And we've had this sitting in the glass for a couple minutes, but I don't get that at all. I mean,
no, she's a beauty. She was low, so the angels drank heavily from it, and that's why they hang out here. Is they usually get a lot of cool stuff to drink. This is very special barrel, and we're happy that you picked it, and we gave you a call as soon as we found it. We're like, I know who would like this.
Totally, and it was awesome. I mean, I remember there was actually another rye barrel you were showing us that had these crazy like tropical fruit pineapple notes that you just would not expect on a rye, and we were debating like, how do we pick between these two, right? But I think we made the right choice. This is awesome. It's got some of those kind of like syrupy dried fruit notes, that you would expect with higher proof. It's definitely viscous. It's big, but it's not hot, which is just unbelievable to me.
No, it has all the components of Law's rye. So the peppery notes are very Serrano-like, not so much cracked pepper. The orange is there too in this. This is a part of, I think that orange comes from the wheat mostly, but in the rye, I think it comes from the malted rye.
Yeah.
So this is old enough to where we were not making 100% rye at this point. We were working with Colorado Malting Company to have, our malt component have more conversion capacity. And at the beginning, they were learning how to malt it. Rye is, typically a low conversion malted grain. Like this is, but they've managed to, they've perfected it now. So we make 100% rye. Typical. This is a 95.5, and it's of the 95, half is raw and half is malted rye. And then there's a little bit of that scarlet barley that they grow down there that really pops it. So they can taste the nuttiness a little bit at the end, but it's all rye.
Well, that is fantastic. I mean, that is an awesome whiskey. I mean, all three of these in ways are totally unique. I mean, like we said, these are two of the oldest barrels of their kind. This is the first 5-year Maryland style rye that has left the distillery itself. And because of that, we wanted to do something a little special for you guys. So what we did is right now at the store, we know there's some people lining up. What we're going to do is if you buy all 3 bottles, we'll give it to you in a Argonaut tote bag. You'll get a special sticker for it. You scan that at the register, you're going to get a huge discount on these 3 bottles. So generally, I mean, this guy is, I believe, $76.99. This guy would be $76.99 as well. This guy's going to be $54.99. So, put that all together. But if you get all 3 with the tote bag, the special UPC, you're only going to pay $174.99 today for those 3 bottles. So that price for something super unique. And we thought we'd sweeten the pot a little bit. Anybody who buys the 3-pack, so get all 3 at the same time, special UPC, which is how we're going to track it. So make sure you get all 3 bottles in the tote bag. Will be entered into a drawing for the opportunity to purchase this guy. So Pappy Van Winkle 20-year, for those of you who aren't familiar with the bag, really a unicorn, once in a lifetime type of whiskey. And, all you have to do to be able to get entered into that, is buy one of our 3-packs. And like you said, Angels drank a ton from this one, right? So it was a super short yield. We only got 60 bottles of this.
This is the once in a lifetime. Right.
Well, that's also true. That is true.
Yeah, these are all once in a lifetime. That's every year.
Right. I like that perspective. That is true. Once these are gone, they're gone, right?
It's made locally, right?
Yep. All made locally.
Tastes like Colorado.
A little taste around Colorado. I like that. And so there will only be 60 bottles of this available. That means if you buy, one of the 3-packs, you have at least a 1 in 60 chance of being selected for the opportunity to purchase this guy. So 3 awesome local products. Actually, I forgot the chairs we were sitting in. So these guys, you guys did a partnership with Great Divide and Yeti.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about it.
So Yeti, very great beer, as you know. Great Divide, also the first brewery that ever bought barrels from us.
Oh, wow.
And they bought them to do Yeti. So we sold them like 12 barrels, back in 2014. Like,
oh, wow.
Literally, we took them down in a couple of our trucks and we dropped them off ourselves. And it's been a great partnership all those years along. They still use it for those sort of things. And we like the folks. We like the local nature of it. We certainly like the beer.
Oh, yeah.
And so is this a second year, I believe? I wish I had our marketing guy here. I think a second year in a row we've done this, and we're going to continue to do this. And then the barrel in which the Yeti was aged in, like our ex-bourbon barrel, is what made these chairs.
Yeah. So
they have like nice engraving in here, like the Laws Whiskey House and Great Divide over here. And then I got
right behind us, you got the little Yeti and the Laws symbol up there.
Yeah. And I personally have 2 of these chairs in front of my house, and they're extremely well made, and they are a feature.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So these are, this is, again, part of our partnership, part of being local, and, spend your time and your money this season in real independent liquor stores and come and buy real made in state spirits.
Well, and that's
us and all of our beers.
And I think that's, honestly a great point. When you had special things come available, you made the call to us, right? Yeah. And we came down and we, said, yeah, this is awesome. Let's do this with you. Let's make this cool. So you don't get those relationships at other places where, certain products have gone in recently and they're just getting your run-of-the-mill standard stuff. A lot of our products have a story behind them, and there's relationships behind it, and it gets you really cool juice that just, wouldn't get to you otherwise. So there totally is a reason to shop local, as we've been saying for a long, long time. And always appreciative of you and your partnership. And, with that, guys, come on down, give them a shot. Cheers.